Rivalry, it's what makes sports so much fun. Find an opponent that you respect and despise at the same time, you got yourself a rivalry. It only took one game against this week's opponent for a rivalry to be established with Iowa Western Reaver football, and since December 2nd, 2012, the games have been a lot of fun to watch and to be a part of. Butler versus Iowa Western, Part 6, fit that exact description. We've got the highlights and more next on the Coach Stroh Show, right here on the Reivers Sports Network and CBTV 17. From the studios of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, Iowa, this is the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. I'm Jake Ryan, joined by the head coach of the Iowa Western Reivers, Scott Strohmeyer. Top 5 ranking, you're facing Butler. It seems like it's a normal occurrence for one or both of the teams to be up in that top echelon fighting for a national title when these two teams meet, doesn't it?
For sure. I mean, since, in 2009, I think, or 2010, one of the 2010 we were 2, they were 1. But from that point forward, it seems like somebody has been up in there.
Yeah, you mentioned 2010, and that year you almost played Butler for the national title in the second year of the program, and wouldn't that have been fun? But then some guy named Cam Newton played for the title instead. Well, you're under the lights in El Dorado, Kansas. The scene is set. It seems to be a big game feeling no matter what year it is, no matter what the records are. Last year you were 1-2. They came in number 2. And then 49-7, it was the final score. The year before, you went in high-ranked, had high hopes after appearing in the national title game in 2014. They took you out on their home field. So a couple of games that weren't so close the last couple of years. We'll see what we get this season. Did you kind of feel like, despite their record at 1-1, that they were probably still a pretty good team?
For sure. I mean, they really should have been 2-0. I mean, they shouldn't have lost the game that they lost. And so that was my biggest thing with the team, is understanding that they should be 2-0 and they probably should be in the top 10 in the country. But because of that loss, they dropped themselves out of it. But still a really good team.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights from Butler and Iowa Western from Veterans Stadium in El Dorado, Kansas. Reivers wearing their white-blue combos, and Butler coming in their gold, purple, and gold. And right away, it is Kurt Walding, handoff to Mekhi Sargent. Didn't get hit. I think that was the problem there, Coach, as he slides through the line.
Yeah, he stuck through. I was hoping he could keep his feet, but unfortunately, we started off, we dropped that pass on third down and got to sustain drives in games like this.
Chris Helbig, a transfer out of the University of Colorado, and I'll tell you what, Butler has got some firepower. You see their running back, who we had all sorts of problems with, and he's going to score, get in the end zone. That was after the first turnover of the game, which was a tipped pass intended for Vincent Perry.
Yeah, we gave them a short field, and we took a bad angle on the perimeter there and gave them an opportunity to get up the sidelines, and they converted.
Walding again going for a big ball, this time great over-the-shoulder interception by one of their cornerbacks, and fantastic job by Butler getting that INT, and you've just got to be thinking, okay, what's going on here? A little bit wound up, perhaps, Coach?
Yeah, and then, they turn around and get a big play. I thought we were a little bit flat, but, we didn't make the plays that we needed to. We dug ourselves a little bit of a hole, 14-0.
Yeah, that's what you preach. No turnovers, don't give up big plays, and the Reivers gave up 2 turnovers, and there's the big play. Now, Mike Hill coming out, nice reception along the sideline. Unfortunately, though, Pinniger has got to punt it away, and, well, Butler keeps on rolling. They get it back to the dark side, trying to find some stops. Managed to bump that receiver out of bounds. The field goal attempt is no good, so that's good news. Finally a spot of good news here in the second quarter.
For sure, given, they had a chance to go up 17-14, and now we're still down 2 scores and trying to get something going offensively.
Kai Loxley coming in, trying to find a spark for the Reivers. Gets a pass out there to Mike Hill. Mike Hill again, another first down, moves the chains for Iowa Western.
Yeah, we were looking for a little bit of a spark, and I think Kai brought that, initially in his drive here.
Anthony Turner, nice adjustment. Eddie Agambo in for the extra point after the touchdown run by Mekhi Sargent. And the Reivers going back to work again.
We're kind of getting into a groove. We started, like I said, really slow and moving the football in chunks now.
Now Loxley will roll out, points go down, and then he's going to get bumped a little bit on the way out of bounds, but a good run and another first down.
Yeah, that was the one thing, him just breaking outside the pocket and making them cover the entire field. They're all 11 players.
Taj Telfair with the reception. Kai looking downfield, gets out of trouble again. Such elusive. He's got those quick steps, and he's very patient before he makes them.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's why he's one of the better athletes in the country coming out of high school.
Kai Sargent with the touchdown run, and right there you're thinking, okay, here we go. Going to be tied up, but Ogamba wide right. Problem with the hold as you looked at it again, and that keeps you 1 point down.
Yeah, I mean, you still got a lot of game left, but those you got to get. Tied up, it changes the course of the game down the line of what you got to do, but we still got a lot of game to go.
Well, and here's the good news: the tie ball game or near tie ball game seems to have inspired the defense. They played well, except for those 2 touchdown drives, but now they're really coming to play. You get the ball back again, trying to move that 2-minute offense. Loxley again to the sideline.
Yeah, and we're making some big plays. We're now putting ourselves in field goal range. Fortunately, we have some penalties that puts us back, and then we try a field goal that comes up just wide right again.
Yeah, it had the length, wasn't very high, and I thought it might have a chance, but then, as you said, it went right. Butler gets the ball back, and again, Val Martin and Davion Nixon up front. You see Malcolm Lee on the top of the stack there, and the defense just really kind of pinned Butler deep. They didn't get much going when they weren't given a short field.
They didn't, and unfortunately we gave them some good fields. Either we had a penalty that changed field position, but defensively, they had really in the first half, they had 2 plays that they got.
How about this ball ends up in the hands of Mike Hill off the back of another receiver? That one you got to hold your breath a little bit as you're hoping that it either hits the turf or comes down in the hands of a Reaver.
I was hoping someone would bat it down. We had too many of those, though. The first down catches that we got to convert those.
Hand off to Mackay. He can't get it going to the outside. And at the half, you are trailing by a point, 14-13. We'll talk about the halftime adjustments in just a moment as we take a break and come back for more of the Coach Stroh Show right after this on the Reivers Sports Network.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
From the studios of CBTV 17 at Canesville Center on the campus of Iowa Western Community College, this is the Coach Stroh Show. A 1-point deficit at the half. Coach, you haven't trailed in 3 games at all leading into this game, and now you've trailed for the entire half, but you closed the gap when it first started out. I thought, uh-oh, is this a repeat of 2015? Good news, it wasn't. You get to within a point at the half. What were the adjustments at halftime? What was the mood like in the locker room?
Well, I thought the mood was pretty good, really for how poorly we played at times, and we only gave up 2 plays defensively. Unfortunately, or 2 touchdowns. Offensively, we had a bunch of drop passes and just weren't in sync offensively from the get out. We got a little bit of life there towards the end, but really just finish it off. We had to make some adjustments. They made, give Butler credit. They made some adjustments that we didn't expect coming into this game, and that seems like it's been the norm for teams we play. We see the first time they run the stuff is against us, but so we have to do a better job. We're our young guys on the perimeter got to be able to adjust to some of those things.
What types of things did you see in the game, at least in the first half, that threw you off?
Well, they were some coverages and things in the back end that they were doing. Their fronts were changing up that we haven't seen on film. That just changes maybe some of our blocking assignments, protection assignments, or plays that we would call, I guess, into it. But I think it comes down to just at some point it comes down to being a football player and making plays when you're putting in that opportunity. And now I think our guys will be a little bit more prepared, hopefully, for everything. We're going into it this week with a game coming up where they have a bye week, and so they have opportunity to put in a lot of new things.
It's good to have the target on your back, but it's also a little bit of a problem sometimes. Let's take a look at the second half highlights. Reivers trailing 14-13 after the first 30 minutes, and we will get started by, giving the ball to Butler on the opening kickoff of the second half, and that one out of bounds. They'll start at the 35-yard line.
Not the way you want to start it off the second half, and it was good, our defense right there. I'm thinking, okay, we got a little bit of fire, but...
Raekwon Chapman with the hit. There's another pass, Chapman in on the tackle, and then a big run for Butler. Right up the gut and barely touched. Some good blocking on that play, or maybe a few grabs of a jersey or two?
Yeah, and again, they caught us in something there, and we got a little bit of a hole, and they had the right play call. It seemed like that was the way the game has gone.
How about Kai Loxley hanging onto the ball, getting dropped from the blind side? I was impressed with that. Yes, he was quarterback sacked, but I was very impressed that he hung onto the ball.
Well, I seen him coming, and I was hoping that he'd get rid of it, because generally that ends in a fumble.
Again, Butler on the attack, Reivers defense stacking up nicely. At this point, you're trailing 21-13, trying to get some things going. Finally, a good run after Kai had kind of been picking them apart with the passing. Mackay right through the middle for a good gain.
Yeah, and we had to try to get the run game going a little bit. Again, what they do defensively, they pressure you, and they give you a lot of things down the field that are open, but they're saying they're going to get to you before you can get them guys open. And
Mike Hill came up with just about everything on the day, but that one, not good. And Raekwon, you saw right away, he pulled the hand back, but it was too late. He'd already made contact with the face mask. Big 15-yard penalty. Moves them down the field a little bit more, but you force a punt and get the ball back.
Yeah, and the big thing with some of those penalties is, yes, we got out of it, but we got the ball at the 10-yard line now. We changed the possession. So when you're playing percentages of trying to score when you get at the 10, your percentages aren't very high.
You draw that play up very often where Kai is being tackled and gets rid of the ball.
No,
there's a missed opportunity there. I thought Desmond was going to go for a pick six, but good defense by the receiver breaking it up.
Yes, it was a really good play. We'd like to make that turnover, but then at the same time, our field position all day was at they were at the -10. We're trying to move it out and get something going offensively.
Again, the short passing game, Vincent Perry and Anthony over there, and then of course Joe Jordan and Taj Telfair. But Butler, just like the Reivers D, just sucks to the ball defensively. They call it chaos tempo, and I would agree sometimes.
Yeah, and the big thing, and I even made the comment after watching the film, we didn't have a catch and run throw, I don't think, all day. It was a catch and tackle or catch and down, so we didn't get those opportunities for the big ones.
Helbig will roll out, pump fakes a couple times, and the Reivers doing a great job. How about that little tee up, and then Malcolm Lee smashing him, Chester Graves smashing him on the sideline.
Yeah, again, the defense has given us a chance, we just got to, now hopefully we can get something where we get either a short field or some field position or get something going offensively.
You see that play there as Malcolm Lee makes this tackle, but the kid just kept playing, and that was the personal foul. Obviously a safety issue. How hard is it as a player to stop playing in a play knowing that you're not hurt, you just can't play because your equipment's missing?
Yeah, that's you got to talk about it and do it. It's hard. Just your instincts take over.
So again, back and forth into the fourth quarter. Again, a fantastic, elusive run. Reivers finally bring down the tailback, and then you get the ball back again, and Loxley going to work across the middle, and another fantastic threat of a pass, and then Hill just hauling it in.
Yeah, big third down play. This one right here really hurt because we had it set up. We had great numbers. We had 2 guys for 1. If we block that one, we have a chance, at least put us in field goal range. But, like I said, that's kind of the way the game was going. We just need someone to make a play.
That one really hurt. Davion Nixon getting in, and just a tremendous grab around the waist, not letting him go. Back-to-back plays. He does it again on this play.
Yeah. Again, they're giving us a chance. We just need to get some field position. This was huge. We got the field position back, but a block punt on the special teams and get the football at the 30-yard line.
Romonte Hill doing a nice job scooping it up, and then, well, guess what? The downhill run of Mekhi Sargent, touchdown number 3 on the day, and now you got to go for 2.
Yeah, we have a play that we run for 2, and that's what we've been practicing. Unfortunately, didn't quite execute the way we wanted it to, but
Loxley to Hill, a great catch. I thought it was tied, 21-21. You saw the penalty marker come in, Chancellor House, a little bit of a hold, and then Loxley running out of trouble. Amazing that he keeps it alive, throws to the end zone just a little bit off the back foot, so it comes up short. Butler bats it down, you're still trailing, and then you get the ball back. Loxley again out of trouble, and this may be one of those plays where he tried to do too much.
Yeah, you're trying to make a play, and you don't maybe see that defender, that free safety that's on the backside, and initially I seen it, I thought we had a chance, him getting past him, but then seen the safety coming over. But, as the way the game went the whole day, we just couldn't get anything clicking, I guess. And, we had chances to win, but, we don't have a lot of 2-point plays from, the 20-yard line either. And that one there, we got to execute that at the end of the day.
Well, between the penalties and the great defense played by Butler on the day, it was hard to get clicking. It was kind of it was very stilted as it went along.
Well, and that's, really 2 good teams. That's what happened. This league is built with some good football players in it, and we got some good players, and by no stretch is the season over. It's frustrating that we lost this one. We had chances to win, but you got to give credit to them as well. They're a good football team.
Well, and to turn the ball over 4 times in the game and to have all those penalties, you're still in it until the very end, and you lose by 2 points. The team has got to be feeling, yes, we lost, that stinks, but still feeling, okay, we've still got this. We're still in control.
For sure. It stings a little bit worse when you have it so close, when you play as poorly as we did. And then still have a chance to win, but we don't. Sometimes you almost wish you get blown out of those. You don't have any excuses then. But, I guess the best thing is we've been harping on some of these things for, since the Hutch game, a play or 2. Really, you think about it, there's probably 5 plays in that game that decide that game. And there was 100, or 200 and some with the special teams plays. So, you can't make those mistakes.
Well, you look at the game against Hutch, and you felt lucky to win. And this game against Butler, it could have been the same way for Butler. Butler had to feel lucky to win as they left that field as well. But
for sure,
a fantastic game. You guys fought back after an early deficit, and it's disappointing to lose, but at least you represented well that game.
For sure.
So we will talk with a man that piled on some more rushing touchdowns. You better be careful, Coach. If you keep letting those rushing touchdowns in, you'll have more than passing touchdowns in the program history. Mekhi Sargent, 3 touchdowns. We will talk with IWTV student Riley Martin when we come back on the Coach Stroh Show right here on the Reivers Sports Network and CBTV 17.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him and
I watch him cook because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
we have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
The Coach Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IDub TV student Riley Martin, along with redshirt freshman running back Makai Sargent. Welcome to the show, Makai.
Thanks for having me.
So you're a redshirt freshman. Take me through last year and what your experiences were like watching the Iowa Western team kind of struggle its way through a season, and what experiences you had.
I felt like I could have been out there playing, no doubt. But, things happen for a reason, and I think Coach Stroh made the right decision with having me redshirt my first year.
And what strengths did you gain going through practice every day, being a redshirt freshman, getting ready for this year?
I caught up with the game speed, the college game speed. It helped me being around, better guys, like good guys to compete with and stuff like that. But it was a long ride last year, basically.
Yeah. So you come out this year, you've got independence, all those cameras are out on the sideline, and it's your first game on the field, and you rush for 170 yards. What was going on, and what happened on the field?
We just came out there to play. We practiced hard all fall camp. We carried that out to the game, and yeah.
So what are you saying to your offensive line in that game when you're going off like that? And did you have to go buy him something after that as like a gift to say thank you?
I wish I could have, but we just practiced hard. I wish I could have got him something after the game, but those guys played a hell of a game out there. Yeah.
All right, and so we'll skip ahead to Butler. You won the next 2 games pretty easily. Skip ahead to Butler. It was a pretty sloppy game. There was a lot of penalties everywhere, but you managed to keep the team in the game with 3 rushing touchdowns. What were you saying to your guys when you're able to get in the end zone and keep their spirits up?
Keep their head up. The game's not over. It was a close game throughout the whole game. We came out sluggish, real sluggish. It could have been better, but we tried to fight through it. And I give credit to those guys up front always, because without them I wouldn't have scored.
So you're talking about you're a little frustrated with yourself in the game, tripping over your feet, falling down a couple times when you had an open running lane. How do you improve on that this week in practice and really focus on Coffeyville?
Just keep practicing hard. Have that in my mind. Not tripping over my feet. I was trying to run too fast and stuff, but just practice hard.
So who do you model your game after?
I would say I'm the Lynch type.
Marshawn Lynch? Yeah, you like to run in the hole, beat some guys up, and then get through them?
Yep, that's my favorite running back. Lynch.
Yeah, and so you're from Key West, Florida. How was the transition from Florida to Iowa, where it's definitely going to be a lot colder?
My first time seeing snow was last year in November. It was crazy. I wasn't prepared for it. Too cold.
No. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Mekhi.
Thank you for having me.
Number 1 running back for the Reivers, Mekhi Sargent. I'm Riley Martin. When we return, Jake and the coach will be back to wrap things up of this week's show. You're watching it on CBTV 17 and the Reivers Sports Network.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
So I told him it's probably a good decision that you're not coaching right now until he gets the surgery and gets taken care of. But he's doing, his spirits are well, and any way that we can support and obviously make awareness for, people to become donors.
Right. So the ribbon does say, or donate life, and then at the top it says Coach Flo, and we hope the best for Coach Aaron Flores. And again, that's what sports is. It's important sometimes if you win or lose in the fans' eyes, and in the whole scheme of things, it just doesn't matter. Just we wish you the best, Coach Flores, and good luck to your team this week too as well, Coach.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Kickoff comes to you at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. We will precede that with This Week in Reaver Country at 6. We'll follow that with the RSN Countdown to kickoff at 6:30, and then, of course, kickoff at 7 o'clock. For everybody involved in today's broadcast, including everybody that made it happen here in the studios of CBTV 17, for Mekhi Sargent, freshman running back, and Riley Martin, IWTV student, and the head coach, Scott Strohmeyer. I'm Jake Ryan. Wear your blue, be loud and proud about your Iowa Western Reivers.